Welcome to week 2 with Uber Eats Delivery. Hopefully you guys find this video a bit more upgraded compared to my last one. Unlike last week's video, I worked the entire 5 days I had scheduled because my car drives perfectly now. Starting off with the very first delivery on Wednesday, it was 2 deliveries in one order, which ended up paying $21.89. This carrier delivery was going to some sort of celebration. It was 9 boxes of beer. It was delivered into the city in Manhattan. Trust me, it won't be the last time you see Manhattan. I pretty much had my fill with that damn borough. But when I was finished with this order, I immediately got another one. One delivery for high up in Manhattan, and then a delivery heading to the Bronx, which I have to say, I've been getting so many orders going to the Bronx. The algorithm must love me going there because it's been a good 3 to 4 times a week recently. This order ended up paying me $21.58. Finally, my last delivery for the night was one more delivery in the Bronx, which was very quick since I was already there. This one delivery was $10.50, making a total of $53.97, which is extremely low compared to what I usually make a day. This was one of those days where the orders were slow and the pay wasn't all that good. Now, most of the time I usually get an order with 2 deliveries, but this one was 3 deliveries. Because of that, I was paid $42.56. With tip, but we'll count the tip at the end of the video. This order was pretty long since there was 3 drop-off going from Domino Park to Grand Street. The second order of the day had me picking up 2 meals from Fluffy's Chicken, which, if you haven't been there, I wouldn't recommend it. They cook like the customer service. Garbage. Had my car smell like pure ass. To be fair, maybe it was the Fluffy's Chicken place, because the one in Manhattan didn't stink up the place. Maybe it was my fault for picking the worst one. I ended up earning $18.18 for these 2 deliveries. The last order of the night was a single delivery going from Astoria to Howard Avenue, which was a very quick drop off. Pay was $15.07. Starting off the next day, I received the carrier order and food delivery. This trip took me about an hour 30, which ended up being $29.05. Thankfully, I didn't need to go to the city for this one. The next order was my most absolute frustrating order. I needed to go to some restaurant deep in the city called Sugarfish. Why was it frustrating? I couldn't find the damn restaurant. Seriously, it took me 30 minutes because the restaurant wasn't in sight. It was in a basement. How was I supposed to know that? There were no signs, no one telling me where it is. The only reason I found it was because the Uber app said building 239, and I'm looking straight at 239, which was a hotel. I went in and the doorman told me it's downstairs. I was so close to canceling this order. This order paid me $13.61. After this delivery, I got an order to go to Chip City, which is absolutely delicious. 2 orders going to 2 different places, and guess what? It was to the Bronx. Of course, because why wouldn't it? Both orders ended up paying me $23.62. Finally, the last order for the night was a small and fast carrier order going from Bronx to Harlem, which is in Manhattan. The order paid me $13.42. Now, Saturday was my longest day. I wanted to test the theory of the longer you work, the more money you make. That couldn't be further from the truth. Out of 5 days, Wednesday was my worst day, making it the lowest earning of the week. But Saturday is right next to it. I usually drive from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., but Saturday I started at 3 p.m. Sadly, I'll be doing that again. It wasn't worth it though. This day was nothing but carrier orders. I don't think I had any food deliveries. That's probably why I earned so little. I ended the day with $75.49. It's just one of those days. I wasn't too broken from this, trust me. It is what it is. Finally, my last day of the week came and it was a bit better, especially with the last order. I actually enjoyed that ride. The first ride of the day was to 11th Avenue, which is deep in Manhattan. Another carrier order. Here's what I have to say about this. I've never been to this part of the city. It was difficult even with the GPS because parking was non-existent. I was so unfamiliar with the place that I thought I was in another state. It looked more like Miami to me. I made the mistake of continuing to drive and I ended up in New Jersey only because the lanes were closed, and since I didn't know where I was going, I found myself heading into the Lincoln Tunnel. The customers can't see where you're going through the app, and he called me asking me why am I going to New Jersey. I had to explain to him how lost I was. He laughed but told me to take my time. I'm glad he understood. This order gave me $24.14. My next order was a store pickup. I drove from McDougall Street in Manhattan to Henry Street in Brooklyn. A good 35-minute drive. The pay was $16.84. Now, the last delivery of the night was the best one for me. It was a drive from New York to Connecticut. It took me around 1 hour and 12 minutes. Now, that was a rainy night, so I couldn't go as fast as I wanted to, but it was good, especially when I was almost home. So here's the results of the week. From Wednesday to Sunday, I drove 180 miles within 22 hours of work. I earned a base pay of $380.81. Base pay is basically just the pay from each delivery, no tips, no guarantee payments. Now with tips, I gave an extra $32.61. And the guarantee pays ended up being an extra $72.88, making it a total of $486.30. A couple of days later, I ended up getting an extra tip, which added to be $488.30. Alright guys, that was my second Uber Eats video. Hopefully it was much better than my last one. Of course, do tell me more ways on how I can improve these videos because I invested a lot into this camera, which is an Action 5 Pro. I also have a Lumix G7 camera, and I'm thinking of ways of recording footage from this camera as well, but I'm not sure how it's going to happen. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and with that, have a good one.